Hello and welcome to Introduction to Epistemology, and today we are going to discuss what is perception. So you have to understand perception with three basic things. Number one is sensing, number two is believing, number three is knowing. And for example, I just give you a simple example like when you see my introduction, in my introduction I mention what is perception in capital words. If you rewind this video, you can see this video back and you start the title along with my name and the title I mentioned what is perception, and I have written in capital words. So maybe some of you in the class maybe think that this capital words looks very aggressive. Or for example, if sometime what happened that someone is chatting with you and someone write capital words accidentally, mistakenly, he forgot to turn off the caps lock. So what happened that maybe you think that this person is rude or aggressive, but this is actually from your perception, like you see the capital words, then you believe on the rudeness or aggressiveness of the person, which maybe the person is not actually. And then the third is knowing. You know that that person is rude, but maybe your perception is false. We can call it as false perception. So this is an interesting concept to understand what is perception, and we must understand the perception, that how it helps to make a belief. Like I already mentioned, if someone is typing in capital words, you feel it's aggressive or it's angry, and you make a belief accordingly, and then you get some knowledge and then justifies, and then you can justify that because maybe you feel like his behavior is rude or whatever the justification it came in your consciousness. So we have to understand that perception in this topic, and we will discuss in detail later on. Let's take a look of this picture. So what the first perception came in your mind? Is it a duck or a rabbit? And you know, if we see our in our eyes, we can say it could be a duck. If you see on the left side, you saw his eyes and his long, you can say, mouth, which duck use. Or on the right side, if you see a rabbit, his small face and small mouth and then his eyes. Or maybe someone in the classroom can say that no, it could be a duck and a rabbit both. So that's actually a perception. We're talking about perception. So we have three kind of people. Maybe some people instantly said that it's a duck. Some people may say it's a rabbit, but maybe we have some people that said that it could be a both thing, duck or rabbit. So that's how the perception is. To understand the perception, the simple example we can give is tactile experience, which is also known as tactile experience, and it is the sensation or experience through our touch. And like for example, the babies will be given different blocks to make the house. For example, the children are playing with some sand or some group exercises. These all the kind of tactile experiences. And the simple example, another I give, like for example, babies who sleep with their parents are much more receiving the tactile stimulation compared who are sleeping in a cottage. And that is the reason that many babies, if they are woke up suddenly at night because maybe they lost the sensation or tactile sensation, and then they wake up. So these all are the kind of experiences, and that tactile experiences is one of the factor that is responsible for making the perception. If you touch a rough thing, you feel the roughness, you sense roughness, then that's why your perception is that surface is rough. Or you touch a smooth surface, a glossy surface, then with that tactile experience, you call it at, okay, that's a glossy or shiny surface. So these are the part of the perception. And there are other kind of tactile experiences also, like auditory experiences or visual experiences, that are also helpful to make the perception. We can also make our perception through testimonies, and through testimonies we have some belief about the perceptible that we never experience in any way. Maybe the testimony of someone can give a perception of the other person or thing or an object, but the question is, what is perceptible? And I mentioned the definition that it is the defined as the thing or object or person that is noticed or observed, or the second definition is a perceivable object, the kind of thing that can be seen obviously through visual, touched, through tactile experiences, heard through our ears, smell through our taste receptors, or tasted. So these are the examples to understand the perceptibles. And the example given below is the Lara spoke softly and her words were barely perceptible. So it means that she spoke so soft that her words that she spoke are unnoticeable. So this is example of testimonies and perceptibles. We will discuss testimony in detail in another chapter. Another example to explain tactile experience or perceptible is about the use of the old cell phone, and I put that picture from the internet. I searched online that if you see these small old phones, so you can see different numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then you use these numbers. When you touch them you feel the number and then you call through them. The keys, the keypads that can be perceptible to dial. So these numbers are, for example, these keypads are a common old example of tactile experiences that people use to call them without taking in detail conscious. But this example cannot be fit nowadays because now we have the cell phone, and cell phone doesn't have keypads. So this is the old example where the keypads are grooves above the surface, and then it will be helpful and easy for people to dial. So the question is that, do my belief would quite different from someone testimonies? So yes, my answer is yes. So if we have two people, maybe if two people talking about one thing, it could be different, it could not be same. That's why in the courtroom, when the testimonies have been taken, it will be assessed by the judge in detail, and there is a question and answer session to explore more on the person testimonies. To understand the testimonies of two persons, or to understand this, I give another example in the next slide. For example, the belief that water freezes at zero is true in virtue of the fact that water freezes at zero. So we have to understand that perceptual beliefs are not simply belief about perceptible, but they are belief in grounded in perceptions. But the question is, what is grounded in perception? So in simple thing, if we talk about metaphysics, we talk about grounding. So it is the relationship between a ground and a grounded entity. And a ground exists on more fundamental level than ground entity, in sense that the ground entity depend upon or depend for existence or properties on its ground. Like for example, when we talk about ice froze at 0 centigrade, so we are talking about the property of that substance, that is that the ice will melt at 0 centigrade, and that's a freezing fact, and that's a truth maker of the freezing belief. So the question is why perception is important, and if you take a look of this picture, you can get to know easily. Like for example, if there are 6 children, they are sensing using their tactile experiences of an elephant in a dark room, and where they cannot see that this is an elephant, and without seeing them they are they are feeling with, or they are sensing with their hands, with their senses, through their tactile experiences. Maybe everyone say different. Like the corner child said that no, this is a rope. Maybe someone said no, this is a chair. So everyone have their different different perception about this thing, unless they can see clearly that this is an elephant. So that's how we can explain perception when we haven't see the thing, but we are just using our tactile experiences. That's why people that are blind, they are using most of their tactile experience or tactile experiences in our daily life to do their activities. So this is for today's lecture. Hope to see you again. Thank you.